Hello everyone, welcome to Business Statistics class. So in today's video, we will study some of the important definitions of probability. So we know probability of an event is a numerical measure of chance of occurrence of that event. So for a given random experiment, we can create n number of events which are the subsets of the sample space. So we had seen an example of rolling a dice. We can create so many events like what is the probability of getting number 6, or what is the probability of getting sum as 8, or what is the probability that the sum is divisible by 3, so on. So you can create n number of events which are subset of the sample space. So suppose we are assigning numbers or probabilities to these events. Certainly these assigned probabilities should confine some basic rules. Only then they can be called as probabilities. Such basic rules are called as axioms. So there are 3 axioms and they are specified in the axiomatic definition of probability. The probabilities are assigned to various events by using either classical definition, empirical definition. So however, such numbers can be casually fixed or judged. These numbers are called as subjective probabilities. So for example, one may say that there is 80% chance that India may win a cricket match today, or else there is other person may say no, there is less chance that India may win, or else they can say the probability that it rains today is 0.9. So this opinion is subjective. Another person may say that the probability is 0.8. So these are called as subjective probabilities. So now let us see axiomatic definition of probability. So consider a random experiment with sample space S. Associated with this random experiment, many events can be defined. So let for every event A, a real number P of A, that is probability of A, be assigned. Then probability of A is the probability of event A if the following axioms are satisfied. So the first axiom is probability of A should be greater than or equal to 0. That is, probability of that event A should be a positive value. And then the axiom 2 states that probability of the sample space is 1. That is, S being the sure event. And the axiom 3 states that for two mutually exclusive events A and B, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. So note that the third axiom can be generalized for any number of mutually exclusive events. For example, if there are 3 mutually exclusive events A, B and C, then probability of A union B union C would be probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. Similarly, it can be generalized for any number of mutually exclusive events. So whenever they will ask what is axiomatic definition of probability, then it is important to write these 3 axioms. All of the 3 axioms are important. So for any event A where the probability of that event is P of A, then the following axioms must be satisfied. That is, probability of A should be greater than or equal to 0, and the sample space should be the sure event. And for two mutually exclusive events A and B, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. So we had already seen the classical approach of probability. So classical definition can also be called as mathematical definition of probability or priori definition of probability. So we had seen classical approach of probability is a random experiment have n equally likely, mutually exclusive and exhaustive outcomes and let m of these outcomes be favorable to an event A. Then the probability of A is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes, which is m by n. So this is the classical definition of probability. The next approach is the empirical approach of probability. So the classical approach is totally abstract. That is, in this method, the probabilities are obtained not by actually conducting the experiments. So an alternative to this method is the empirical approach, where the probabilities are found by actually conducting the experiments. So suppose a coin is tossed successively a number of times, and let P denote the proportion of tosses resulting in head. If among the first 10 tosses 4 result in head, the proportion is small p, which is equal to 4 by 10. So here 4 is number of tosses which result in head, and 10 is nothing but the number of times a coin is tossed. Therefore the proportion would be 4 by 10, which is 0.4. If among 100 tosses 42 result in head, the proportion is 42 by 100, which is 0.42. Similarly, if among 1000 tosses 536 result in head, the proportion is 536 divided by 1000, and so on. So here it can be seen that as the number of tosses increases, the proportion moves closer to a particular value, say 0.5. Such a limiting value of proportion is probability of getting head in a toss of the coin. So we had seen in the classical approach of probability, where a coin is tossed for a single time, the probability of getting head was 0.5, that is half, and similarly the probability of getting tail was also 0.5. So here when you repeat an experiment many times, so as the number of tosses increases, the proportion moves closer to a particular value. So that would be the value of the probability required. So the empirical or statistical definition of probability is defined as: let a random experiment be repeated n times, essentially under identical conditions. Let m of these repetitions result in the occurrence of an event A. Then the probability of the event A is the limiting value of the ratio m by n as n increases indefinitely. That is, probability of A is equal to limit m by n as n tends to infinity. So here it is assumed that a unique limit exists. So what does this statement say is that when you perform an experiment, that is a random experiment, n number of times under the same conditions, that is under identical conditions, and let m of these repetitions result in an occurrence of event A, then the probability of that event is the limiting value. Here the limit is used. So it is the limiting value of the ratio m by n, where n increases indefinitely. So in practice it is not possible to repeat an experiment infinite number of times. Therefore the probability is obtained from a sufficiently high number of repetitions. So there is an example. Out of 560 babies born in a community in a year, 252 were male. Find the probability that a newborn baby is a male. So here we have information, that is small n, which is 560 births. So 560 births were observed, and among them they have given 252 were a male. So small m is 252. Then therefore we have to calculate the probability that the next newborn baby is a male. Therefore probability of male baby is m by n, which is 252 divided by n which is 560, which is 0.4484. So the next example is a team A has played 96 cricket matches with team B. Among them 14 matches were won by team A. Find the probability that the 97th match that team A plays with team B will be won by team A. So they have given that team A has played 96 matches with team B, and among those 96 matches 46 matches they have won. So we have to find the probability that the 97th match team A wins with against team B. So we have to find that probability. So here out of n, that is 96 matches played, m is 14. Therefore probability that team A wins the 97th match is probability of A wins, which is m by n. M is 14 and n is 96, which is 0.1458. Therefore there is a probability of 0.145 that the 97th match team A plays with team B will be a winning match for team A. So in the next class we will move to a next important concept, that is random experiment. So that's it for today's class. Thank you.